These days you can see many different types of energy transmissions. And for example, with Kundalini activation, people mix it for the experience, for the what I would call the Tony Robbins effect, or the NLP manipulation effect. Putting in lots of fast and dramatic music to stimulate the dopamine and the adrenaline, to give you more of a rush feeling. You will see other types of energy where it's very high energy demo stuff and causing people, their bodies to move, and your body can move. It's pranic energy, it's pranic clearing, it's somatic release. And we can have it done in all these dramatic and exciting ways that you can find on many demos on TikTok, on IG, on YouTube. But really, all you need for all these things to happen is darshan or satsang. All you need to do is connect to the energy of the guru, connect to the energy of the energy master. And the energy master can connect, if they are truly a master, they can connect to different energies. They can be the tantric energy. Now, the tantric energy I do specifically on the YouTube channel, The Golden Tantra, because we work specifically with that energy for people who want to work with it. So if you're interested in that, go to that channel where I work with Ara and we work together on this. But then we also have the pranic energy, we have the Kundalini energy, and we have the light body energies. These are, to say it simply, 4 different frequencies of energy. The Kundalini is very, very specific, as we know. It rises from the root. The Shakti rises from the root up, connects to Shiva, and this is where Kundalini activation, the name is wrong because they're activating prana for somatic release. For some people, that can lead almost by accident to a Kundalini awakening, but for most people it doesn't happen. But the Shakti rises up, and this again, many people get this wrong. I had a full Kundalini awakening. The energy rose up to my head. That is not a full Kundalini awakening. That is a partial Kundalini awakening. Because a full Kundalini awakening is the Shakti rising up the spine, or Christian terminology, the Holy Spirit rising up the spine, and then connecting to consciousness. Now, we can call this Shiva consciousness, or we can call this Shakti consciousness. Shakti consciousness. Sorry. Christ consciousness. That would make more sense in Christian terms, wouldn't it? And so we can have all these dramatic effects, and you can do breath work to intensify it and make it more dramatic and push people further. And these things can be great, but they can also push people over the edge. They can cause Kundalini syndrome. They can cause dark night of the souls. They can cause many, many, many things. So a great way and a much safer way to do this, especially if you're doing it by yourself, if you want to do this in a fast way, and when I say fast, I don't mean in a couple of days. If you wish to do this over a 3-month period or a year, come and take one of my trainings so we can do it as safely as possible. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's safe. You have to know, you have to do the shadow work, you have to release the ego. There are many things you have to do to go down that path safely. And even then, it's going to test your sanity. Go and check that out if you're interested on theawakenenergy.com. I've got 2 different types of training. But then we just have an even safer way to do this, which we can call darshan or satsang, where you simply just sit in the presence of the energy. Also, don't get me wrong, because darshan and satsang can lead to Shakitpat, can lead to these spontaneous kriyas you see in all these wild demos. It can lead to somatic release, the clearing of energy blocks and emotional traumas within the system. It can be very, very powerful. But because we're not working on very specific areas, very specific chakras, we're not working on really pushing energy into someone, overcharging their system. It is a very smooth thing, because rather than an energy transmission from one to another, it is simply the guru, the energy master, or in this circumstance, despite my clothes and everything, I don't dress like a guru, I don't talk like a guru. I just simply connect to the energy for you to sit in that energy and feel it. So it can work gently, very much like the fourth type of energy I mentioned, the light body energy. And it can work in sort of a top-down system. So it will work. Some people say the energy is intelligent. Others will say consciousness is the intelligence, and consciousness will drive the energy to where it is needed most. So this can, for the people that need it to be very slow, it can be, and take time. For the people that are very ready to be activated and go very quickly energetically, and I'm not saying what you want, I'm saying what your system is ready for, it will also do that for those people. Now be warned, and I say this many times, but I don't say this on every video. When you get into this line of work and receiving of energy, you must be doing shadow work. You must be working on your ego. Because if you don't, as the energy rises, it will conflict with your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind will fight back, and it will cause the dark night of the soul. It will cause, possibly in very few people, this is very rare to happen, but it does happen, Kundalini syndrome. For people who have, for example, bipolar tendencies, schizophrenic tendencies, they have to be very careful. And this is why they are tended to be told to stay away from these things, because the further you go with this, even for the very mentally stable people, it can test you, especially if you're not doing the shadow work, especially if you're not clearing all those blocks. Or if you have a certain mindset or a certain programming this is going to come up against, it's going to be difficult for you. Just as an example, if you have come from a very strict set of programmed beliefs from your parents, from where you lived, whether you have chosen to accept them or not, perhaps you have chosen not to accept them, you're looking for other things, but they are deeply within you. If you do not release those things, they are going to come up. That is the shadow work of those things. And you have to make sure you absorb your shadows. You have to be at peace with them. Of course, the other way the dark night of the soul and Kundalini syndrome and things like that can happen come from facilitators working basically to satisfy their own ego by making you move and pushing you too far to create the experience of the demos that we see of Kundalini activation. And it's got many names. It can be called Kundalini activation, but that's just a new name for it. This has been going on for many years, and not just in the East. It's been going on in the West for many years, where you see people move and their bodies are moving, and with the energy, pranic healings. So just be aware of all those things. It's time just to connect now. As I said, we can call this darshan, satsang, Shakitpat. You can do this with your eyes open or eyes closed. Mine are closed. Allow your breathing to become smooth. Let it slow. If you wish to use circular breathing, which means no pause at the top and no pause at the bottom, which will help the monkey mind shut off. Because the monkey mind, the subconscious, gets its time to think in those pauses. Just allow yourself to open and connect to the energy of the video. And as always, you might just feel very relaxed and peaceful. You could become very heavy, as if gravity is pushing you to the floor, so you can't move. You could have emotional releases, laughing, crying, coughing, yawning, very normal things. And of course, for some people, you can get the spontaneous kriyas, movements, into asanas, mantras, mudras, pranayamas, hand gestures, sounds, breathing patterns. It can activate the pranic energies in your body, causing these things to happen. It can activate the tantric energies, the sacred sexual energies in some. And in a very few, it can even activate that frequency that vibrates at the base of your spine, Shakti, causing it to rise. Of course, this isn't going to lead to a full awakening because we're not dealing with the principles of Christ consciousness or Shiva consciousness. We're just focusing on the energy. If you do have a full rising of the Kundalini, the Shakti Kundalini, then the Shiva will take time to develop. And if that does happen to you and you don't develop it, again, if you don't do the shadow work, if that happens, if it's the first time you do this video and you've never done any of this type of stuff before and that happens to you, go and start doing shadow work fast. Many videos on shadow work on YouTube explaining what it is. And then, of course, it can also connect to the light body energy, the Merkaba, which is also the body in which, again, in Western terms, we could say where the psychic abilities lie. Now, these also lie, this gets very complicated because they also lie within Shiva or Christ consciousness. But some of them lie, those psychic abilities lie within the Merkaba or the light body. So again, just be aware of this. Remember, I have a whole playlist of energy transmissions of different types. So you can look on my channel, look for my playlist called Energy Transmissions, and you will find them. I have many teachings Talking about many different aspects of this on my channel. So if you're interested, I would recommend you subscribe. Hit that alert button. But not just that, because these days that's not entirely effective. Actually go to my channel, click my name under the video, where you will see all my videos, and you can work your way through them, all of them. About, I think, over 200 videos there for you now. As I said, if you want to take this further, you can come and take a training with me, theawakeningenergy.com. Now remember, the more you interact with videos, this isn't just my videos. I'm not just saying, hit the like button of my channel. But the more, if you like videos, the more you interact with them, of anyone's videos on YouTube. So if you leave a comment, just saying thank you very much or whatever on people's videos, if you hit that like button, if you subscribe, but of course you can only subscribe once. But yet, the other way to interact with videos is to share the videos with friends and on social groups. And the more you do this, the more you will get the videos of the channels you like to your homepage, because you could be subscribed to 100 channels, 200 channels, 1,000 channels. Just because you're subscribed, it doesn't mean to say you're going to see my videos come up anymore. But if you interact with each one, as I said, this is my channel or everybody's channels, the ones you like. The more you interact with them, the more you will be shown more from their channel. So if you enjoy my videos, I encourage you to interact with them by liking, sharing, and leaving comments to be able to get more from me, as well as all the other channels you like. Remember, you can repeat this video over and over by hitting the loop, or come back to it every day. Just turn down the volume if you wish. So remember to send this video to your friends and share it on social media. I will see you in another video.